All right, are we recording? I think it is. Man, I almost didn't get this video done today. I was, I finished page 15. This is what happens when I finish a page unexpectedly. I do all the extra work. And then suddenly I have the next page is blank. There's nothing there. But in this case, I actually spent a solid few hours this afternoon when I got home working on this page of the sword fight. Fang is back on the scene. And I even lettered it. Well, it's digitally lettered, of course. I'm not sure I'm going to get much done tonight because it's already 8:30. And this is more for my own accountability. But I'm going to go ahead and ink some panel borders. Or, I say ink some panel borders. I'm going to ink them digitally. And this is we're back to a chaotic fight scene. And that's a good thing. One thing that's going on, I figured out a really cool twist to the fight. I'm using the opportunity to... You can't let something as cool as a sword fight, or a sword battle, for a writing thing, you can't pass that up. It's such a good opportunity to reveal secrets about the characters, to get some good inner dialogue going. This is when you want your characters to experience something real, maybe some doubt, maybe some fear. It's always a good opportunity, and some heroism. Heroism is always welcome in a heroic story. And so what happens is Blaze realizes that not only is this force field kinetically resistant, but the more you come in contact with it, well, okay, it's kinetically reactive, so the more you hit it, the harder you hit it, the stronger it becomes, but it also drains you. It drains your power. Vex the Vampire is called Vex the Vampire for a reason, he finds out. That's not completely revealed. It's hinted at on this page. It'll be completely revealed on the next page or the page after, when they're when Fang kind of explains what he discovered. We're also another cool twist is we're dealing with some unrevealed information. Fang says, "I know Vex's secret. I found something in the lab." Now, we as a reader don't know, because the stuff that happened in the lab took place while the other characters were doing stuff. So we gotta, we can guess at it. This is page 16, which means it's a left side facing page. It's not a nice right hand side facing page. So we're gonna see pretty quickly what the secret is on the next page, which will be page 17. Why did I guess 18 pages? Because it might be 20 pages now. We'll see. Because it's going to wrap up. We're on the wrap up at this point. We're in the final sword battle. Just to go over the page. Vex is taking down Blaze. He's figured out Blaze can't fight inside the force field. The force field is reactive, so he switches to fighting defensively. And he's draining my strength somehow. Secret. And then something parries Vex's sword, and we see, it's a big reveal. We can see Fang is back. Now, unrevealed, if Fang is back, that also means that Celeste is back, but she's not on this page. We're going to see her on the next page. And Fang also says, I suppose mercenaries work for anyone these days. Now, this was hinted at on a previous page. Blaze goes, he's a mercenary. Is that Fang's dark secret? It's kind of hinted back here when Fang is talking to himself. Blaze has no idea about the Leatherwing gang. Their specialty is blood. Even a no-good mercenary like me would never work with the Leatherwings. What we're going to find out is that, yes, that's Fang's dark secret is he used to be a work-for-hire assassin. and he's really tough. And Vex even says Snapper must be truly desperate to have hired a killer like you. But we're also going to find out that Fang has changed. He's different now. He's turned over a new leaf. So there's a lot of nuance in this character. I keep putting these kind of terrier. I had terriers growing up, so if I draw a dog or a canine, I always want to draw it as a terrier. But he's supposed to be a wolf, so all right. Oh, and another thing to remember: Vex has the force field, but which he can fight outside of with his sword. But Vex has two swords, and there is a secret to how the force field works that they figured out. Okay. So there's my panel borders, and that only took me about 6 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the ink layer. Let's call it Inky. And let's take the other pencil layer. I'm going to reduce opacity just a bit. In certain ways, I think this is a fairly plebeian sequence here. I don't do a lot of foreshortening or stuff, but I mean, the dynamism is with the sword fight is all in the swords, the drama that they're talking about, the parries, and I wanted to show full figures, so that's why that decision was made. Obviously, you can get super dramatic with a sword fight or any kind of battle. All right. Do it. Happy Thursday, by the way. Finally got my taxes submitted. I did my taxes in January. I sent them to my tax prepare H&R Block, and then they just sat on them for, let's see, January, February, March, and now it's almost April. It's literally like 2 days away from like when they're due. Tax day. If there are any comics-loving H&R Block executives watching the stream, I just want you to know I'm a little bit disappointed. But I think everything's good. I think it's good. It's fine. I've been having a lot of fun doing sketchbook destroyer stuff, and I'm going to do more of that, although not tonight. And then last night I didn't read what I was reading, but I've been reading Gun Frontier, which is Leiji Matsumoto. And it's got me thinking what I really love about Leiji Matsumoto. Hope I'm probably really not pronouncing his name correctly. And he would do this in Captain Harlock too. But he would include these really philosophical, almost poetic haikus at the end of a chapter. And you would see Like in Captain Harlock, you would see the spaceship going off in the distance, and you might see like a silhouette of Captain Harlock, um, in the foreground, looking off at the stars and just musing about the stars and the life of a pirate. And it's great. I think it's just great. And with Gun Frontier, it's the same thing. And I want to do that. I want to do something like that. I think it's cool. I don't know how cheesy it'll come off. To tell you the truth, the Leiji Matsumoto, waxing poetically is a little bit cheesy, but it's so sincere and it's so cool. So cool. All right. Hey, come on now. Stay in there. I've been listening to the Keith Giffen sound audio pod. What's it called? Podcast? God, I love him. He was the greatest. And on the subject of sword fights, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's him that did my all-time favorite sword fight, which is in... Oh, I couldn't give you the exact issue number, but it's in Supervillain Team Up, and it's Dr. Doom ends up trapped with an Atuman warlord noble. And he's down in Atlantis helping... I don't know if he's helping. Sort of pretending to help old Silver Surfer out. Not Silver Surfer, Submariner out. Shucks. That's way too long of an arm. Alright, hang on, we're gonna fix that. He's pretending to help old Submariner out. And oh, you know what? This could fix it a little bit. Hang on, let me go back to Inky. And ends up trapped in some kind of airlock area, and I can't remember who he's fighting. But the guy has a sword, and Dr. Doom's like, very well, if you have a sword. And he finds a sword too, and he's gonna sword fight him. And it's one of the best sword fights in comics. It's definitely my favorite. I don't know. What sword fights can you think of in comics? Significant ones. You might be thinking, well, what about Conan the Barbarian? Those are not sword fights so much. It's just Conan just killing dudes. This one was, I mean, it's at least one page. It goes on for, I think it goes on for 2 pages or maybe 1.5 pages. But one of those pages is Giffen doing, I'm pretty sure it's Giffen, doing a 9-panel sequence, which to me is a Jack Kirby homage, because Jack Kirby used to do these. Is it 9-panel or 6-panel? It might be a 6-panel sequence. He would do these they're basically square paneled action sequences. And he did them all the time. He did it for all kinds of different ones. If you Google Jack Kirby action sequence page, you can see what I'm talking about. And there's different ones. You'll see like Captain America fighting some guys. You'll see Iron Man fighting some guys or whatever. And to me, and I loved Supervillain Team Up, or at least the early issues of it. The ones with Submariner and Dr. Doom. That was a great comic. It was super pulpy. The issue where the Shroud is introduced is super cool. So the Shroud is basically Batman. And when I say, I gotta look that up, because like there are panel for panel. You may not even know who the Shroud is. The Shroud is a Marvel character. And he's blind. So it's not exactly Batman, but it's Batman. He's a he as a child, his parents are killed in front of him or something like that, and he gets taken care of by Tibetan monks, and he learns all of their ways. And but there's some panel for panel stuff that's where they took it right off of the Batman origin. So it has like the sequence where he's a little kid and he's crying, and he swears revenge is like a copy. And then the sequence where he's training up and he shows him lifting weights and jumping rope and stuff is totally lifted. And it's not meant as like stealing. It's more like it's completely an homage. It's completely like, this is our Batman now. Which, goes on to show you that, Marvel had multiple Batmans and then multiple Supermans. So Marvel's Batmans are Moon Knight, Shroud, there's probably some others. Marvel's Supermans, there's at least 4. There's Icarus from the Eternals. There's Wundar, which I know from Man-Thing, but he's from all kinds of things. And Marvel 2-in-1. There is Gladiator from the X-Men. And then there's Hyperion from the Squadron Supreme. Oh, the other Batman is obviously Nighthawk from the Defenders and the Squadron Supreme. But to me, it's kind of clever because, the Batman of JLA is different from the Batman of his own comic. Just as Nighthawk is really the Batman of the JLA, and Shroud is the Batman of his own comic. Is his name Shroud? It is. I think that's his name. The Shroud. Oh, speaking of which, this guy's got a Batwing cape. All of the other leather wings have wings, or they have like glide wings. But Vex is I can tell you a little bit about him. It's not in this comic. He's undead. So he doesn't have his wings anymore. But he does have this Batwinged cape. But, what does undead mean in the context of being a bee stranger? Or, he's not a bee stranger. The bee stranger is an exclusive club. He's a bee stranger villain. I gotta think of some kind of generic term for what's going on with these characters. Shit, I've been using the technical pen this whole time. You mother effer. Alright, let's fix that up. Oof. Woo, child. I caught a Dan Fraga live stream this afternoon, which I really enjoyed. He's going to be at South Carolina Comic Con. He gave art lessons. It was really super cool, and he talked about his dynamic anatomy thing. He also showed a couple other things, which I thought were pretty cool. Another couple of techniques. One for lightening up your drawing before you ink it. Something about the center of gravity, which I thought was interesting. And his belief that the center of gravity was kind of in your base of your neck. For a battling superhero. A lot of people believe it's really the belly button triangle, but he's the way he does it. He does the base of the neck. It seems to work fine. Looks good. All right. Now, one of the problems here is I'm going to take his foot off the ground. because of the dramatic nature of this panel sequence, I don't have a lot of backgrounds planned. I'm gonna fake some in, but I don't have a lot going on here. I wanna get them away from the back wall. All right, let's take the pencil layer off. I'm trying to incorporate the lesson from the Ditko drawing of a couple of nights ago, where he had the shadow kind of drawn in perspective hatching. I'm not sure if I've managed that though. Anyway, we could do a stalagmite. Oh, one of the things, this is why I feel like a little bit torched on this, is I don't have good foregrounds. Isn't there like a door behind him or like a cave opening? There was, but they crossed, so we're kind of in the middle of the cave at this point. We could put the wall, cave wall, behind Blaze. We want to make sure that we have the sense that there's a place where Fang could sneak up behind him. All right, here we go. Things are good. Things are good. I have a feeling a lot of this will get done tomorrow, maybe, or over the weekend. It's already Thursday. It's a payday week. Today was technically payday, but I won't see the money for a while. All right. Oh boy. Blaze is not easy to draw. It seems like every time I draw him, I forget a little bit how to draw him, and I have to go back and look at my model sheets and everything. It's just the lion shape it's irregular, you know. It's not like okay, there's his ear, or one of his ears, and here's the other one. Okay. You might be wondering what this black is. Oh, that was another kind of cool tip from Frege. He was showing some crowd scenes. And he said if you want a character to stand out in the crowd, the answer wasn't to necessarily, put a lot of black on ink on that character, but to surround him with some black ink. And I realized that's what I do when I do my drop shadows. If I've got a close drop shadow, like let's say I've got a cast shadow from Blaze here. It draws a lot of attention to what's going on with him. And it's in the right place because there's the light source, is the sword. I want to get this. Oh boy. He went from one-handing the sword to double-handing it because he's being drained of strength. The more I kind of make my way through the world of learning how to draw comics, the more I find out how little I know. There's so many tips and tricks and, ways to get where you want to go. Storytelling techniques and things. I don't know if I like this. Let's just erase it. And then we're gonna well, this drop shadow is gonna go behind the lion. And I'm not lying. There we go. We're getting somewhere. What happened there? Well, I'm not liking this. Things are going wrong. Okay. All right, we're gonna restart the app. Maybe that's a signal that it's bedtime. Well, it's what, 9:03. Yeah, it's almost time for nighttime. What is happening? Apple Pencil. I think my Apple Pencil might be out of power because normally we would see the charge. Well, let's call that a night. I'll figure this out. All right, please like, follow, subscribe, and we will continue we will continue to be creating the Beast Rangers, and you will see it all right here on my channel. Talk to you later.